Oh, and we're live.
We're
Boom.
live.
Welcome back. This is Brainstorm Blast, episode 4. I am your host, Miguel Johnson, along with the other
Introduce
host
me.
with the most,
You're not going
Zeke.
to introduce? Okay, thank you.
You're not going to introduce me, though? What the fuck? I'm just invisible?
Brain blast. We out here today, man. Guys, we're about to
Tink,
drop some serious,
tink, tink.
some serious knowledge. We're about to pull a Jimmy Neutron on y'all.
Yeah, if anyone doesn't know where that's from, it's from a cartoon that was pretty popular when we were kids. Called was a show called Jimmy Neutron,
It was called Jimmy
like Boy
Neutron.
Adventure, something like that.
I'll do a quick.
It's about this like genius kid in like elementary. Nah, that it looked like middle school. This genius kid in middle school, and all of his friends. Honestly, everyone in the town seems pretty stupid, including his parents. And
Very
he's like a
stupid.
boy genius, and he has a
His head is shaped like an ice cream, like
it
like
is
like a
though.
like an ice cream swirl. Like,
It is though.
and it's called Jimmy Neutron, the adventure of a boy genius. That's
There
that's
you
that's
go.
yeah.
There you go. So I like I didn't want them to make a cartoon about me, but they kind of like forced me into it.
And for some reason they
Um,
made you white. Like I don't know why they
yeah, they still gotta play
you
into
know
the
the
society that we
indoctrination.
live in.
You know, what are we
But
gonna do? What are you gonna say? But yeah, man. Everybody, I was just before this podcast started running, I was just telling Miguel like he really had a glow up mentally. Like over the past couple months, he just been glowing up like on an upward spiral. Like you literally, I see the change. Like I see it, and I'm just like, wow, that's a real man right there.
I
Like
appreciate. I wasn't a man before.
you were like you were. How do I we oh Lord, I think I phrased my shit wrong.
Go
Um,
for it. It's
I
too
don't know,
late
man.
now.
You are more one with yourself now. Before you were a
Mm,
man that was more of a outward man, just trying to uh gain, but now it's all inside, you feel me? So now you're just shining out, you feel me?
mm, I like to do both.
That's what she said. Yes.
You feel me? You feel
So
me, dog?
let's tell them about what we're talking about today, Miguel. Let's
Wait,
tell them.
I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you something, but I was waiting for the podcast to start before I showed you.
The podcast didn't start. Didn't
No, it
start.
started. That's what I was
Okay.
saying. I wanted you to
Okay.
wait.
Okay. Okay.
You
Okay.
was
Okay.
like, we
Okay.
sitting here talking this whole time. It didn't start. Yeah, no, it started, bro. I just wanted
Okay.
to show you
Okay.
something.
Okay.
Bam!
Oh my god!
For those of you listening, I'm holding up a book right now called Tufti the Priestess, which is another
It looks
book
pretty
made
good.
by Vadim Zalan. It's a
Wow.
short book, bro. I'm like halfway done with it.
I see all the notes that you're taking, then so it must be pretty damn good. It must
Like
be pretty damn good. I see all your underlinings and shit.
I mean, like whole 2 pages basically got underlined.
Wow. Is it that
I mean,
good?
yeah, it's honestly uh, for those who don't know, it's written by the same dude who made Reality Transurfing, um, and it's sort of like a shorter, more concise version of Reality Transurfing. Like it's not actually like a story, um, which I still think is interesting, and I wish he would do it. Uh, but but yeah, it's almost like she's like talking directly to you, Tufti the priestess, and she's just like teaching you like how to go through go through life. And it's
So
actually pretty funny because she talks shit a lot. She's like, "You're just a fucking snail. You don't know how to do anything, and it's my job to turn you into a caterpillar. You slimy snail."
wow. And
Like
I
no
bet that sounded
bullshit,
way more hard
bro.
in Russian. I bet that sounded way more hard in Russian. Like
It
her saying
probably
that shit.
does, bro.
But
Like, there's a part where she's like, "Yo, Uh,
Vadim Zeke got a big ass imagination for being able to put himself as a perspective as a priestess, you know.
a priestess, and just be like, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you guys. Like, look, it's like, and if you don't get this, I'll annihilate you all. Dimwits, I can do without. I have a button called delete. It countermands everything or erases it. I don't remember which exactly. I should check. That's that's how
Savage.
that's how the
He went
chapter ends.
savage just there. Wow,
Like
savage.
it's like,
But
yo,
but I bet it gives you like another perspective on transurfing, so you could be able to digest it better as a whole, just from seeing it from another person's perspective.
it does. Like
Yeah.
I see myself going through this book repeatedly.
So far, 1 out of 10. What are you saying? What are you saying it is?
I'd say it's a solid 10. Like in terms of like teaching the like how to fucking do reality transurfing shit, scripts and and intention and all that shit. Like I'd say it's a 10. Like it still explains everything. It's just like not as dense.
No, it still looks fairly dense. It looks like the density of a normal book because we got to remember that reality transurfing is
Yeah,
not is not is
that's
not
not a
the
normal book.
average size book. I would say Tufty the Priestess is basically like a normal size book, basically.
Yeah, okay,
So
okay. I was definitely comparing this to reality transurfing.
Transurfer is like a fucking Vedic fucking I don't even know, man. Fucking dictionary. But
But yeah, everybody should get this book. I'm only halfway through, but I'd say it's still a very good book.
wow, bro.
It's a nice like opener to reality transurfing too.
I didn't even recommend that to you like a week ago, and you already got it, already halfway through it. That is what an action taker is. That is what a true Miguel is.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, guys. So uh, if you don't know right now, the way we're sort of like picking topics is me and Siddiqui are going back and forth, choosing. Uh, this week is Siddiqui's choice, and he chose to go more in depth with a topic that we sort of like brushed over in the last podcast, which is going with the seasons of life. And I added a little point on the end and put and avoiding burnout. Going with the seasons of life and avoiding burnout.
So
But I feel like the more appropriate title would be going with the seasons of life, and then it would be a colon, and then it would be avoiding burnout, working your ass off, and enjoying the fruits of your labor.
which is reasonably there because a lot of people did like seasons. Yay, I could have winter, fall, and spring to just sit on my ass all day, and only summer I shall take action, which is a
Mm-hmm.
big no. As we get going more in depth with the seasons of life, you guys will see how we don't mean like, oh, like half the time you're just flourishing and half the time you're basically dead. No, it means that there's time where you're focused more on outward expansion and you're doing things that are more outwards, and there's time where you're still focusing on your outward reality. You're not just letting yourself be a bum. You're still focusing to better yourself in finance, physically, like in all categories of life. But at the same time, you're just really gaining uh, a lot of reflection. You're doing a lot of reflection and just refining the way that you perceive a lot of things. So when it's time to flourish, when it's time to be more outward, or when it's time to project yourself outward, you'll be able to do it in a more calibrated and more balanced manner.
In what way would you describe the inward expansion?
Let's say inward expansion is you've done all the flourishing. You've done a lot of external work in your environment, getting a lot more business deals or whatever. But then when it's time to go inward, basically you'd still be moving forward with the plans that you're going to, but instead of kind of going 100% and putting all your creative energy on outwards expansion, you put a lot of creative energy on who am I? What is my purpose? What am I doing this for? Is this serving? Is this does this feel right inside, and just kind of reflecting all the knowledge that you've gained and refining it so you better understand what you already know, and you're still doing the work that you're already doing, but you're basically just refining your mindset, basically, so you're better able to actually do the things that you have to do when it's time to have outward expansion.
Mm-hmm. It's also less mentally taxing. to like work on yourself versus like go like full speed ahead, like attack goals. Because personally, I'm in an outward expansion mode right now, and like by the end of the day, like my brain is like drained. Like I feel like I like you know like you run a fucking like a marathon, and like your body's like whoo, like I'm done. Like at the end of every single day, like I'm just like oh my god, like I'm
That was
just
a
like
lot.
yo,
Oh, like
like
wow.
even on this podcast, I'm like a little like yo, like, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. So like when you're doing those inward like when you're taking the time to relax a bit, let off the gas just a little bit, and actually spend time like doing self-development, working on yourself, spending a lot more time meditating, maybe going to get massages or something, going on more walks, spending more time with friends, family, whatever it is. um, it it's not as mentally taxing, and then it basically gives your entire brain a rest for next time when you have to go do that stuff.
It's like sleep. You gotta sleep in order to be healthy, man. There's time where you're up in the day, and there's times when you go to sleep. That balance.
Here's my thing with all of this. I feel like you don't get any benefit from any of this shit unless you are taking the time to viciously attack your goals.
I agree with that, and this is why. Because there would be nothing to do inner work on if you haven't originally done the outer work, where you actually need that rest, where you actually need to reflect because you haven't done anything. So like it's like you would still be at zero, but let's say you go to one, you go to two, three, four, five, and then you got to subtract it by doing those times of reflection. But let's say you stayed at zero the whole time, you would just be at zero. There would be nothing to go inwards on in the first place. So that action is required. But then after you've had those weeks of action, and you decide, okay, the next week will be a time where I give myself more time to meditate. My working hours are just in my schedule, but they're not taking up my whole day. Then you'll have room to reflect and to refine your true purpose.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, I feel like personally, I mean, it is more than likely like differs between person to person. But I feel like the working time, like you should work all the way up to the point where you feel yourself giving out. Like, and I feel like most people have not even felt what that feels like. To like work for weeks or months or years at a time, where you're just like go 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 to the point where like you like wake up and you're like, yeah, I'm like way too tired to go right now. Like you're like the same way like where you don't eat until you're like, yo, I'm like hungry right now. Or I mean, this is honestly like a perfect like working out is like almost becomes like the perfect analogy for almost everything. So like just how we work out, um they say, oh, take uh like work out for 2 months and then take a week break. Like they say like, oh, that's like the general basis. But I've noticed that like it's more of just a listening to your body thing. Like if I'm lifting ridiculously heavy, then after maybe like 4 weeks, I have to take a break because like I just feel my body giving out. Like I'm not lifting the same anymore. But if I'm not working out nearly as hard or I'm lifting much lighter weights, then I can work out 2-3 months before I need to take a week off to give my body some rest. Um, so like just how like working out, it's like a fillet sort of thing. I feel like actually putting in like mental work is the same thing. Like work until you're fucking until like you're just like looking at like your next task. Like, oh my god, like I
Here's
can barely
I
concentrate.
have a quick objection on that, Miguel. Just like how you said with working out, how you could spread it out over longer. So
Mhm.
it would be you would do not as crazy as intense workouts, but then it would be a longer time when you'd work out, and then you'd have your break after a longer time. I think it could be the same with work. Instead of just going completely beast mode and then just always burning out, always needing to have that week of recovery, you can just go at a steady pace. That's you're still putting in a lot of work, but then at that steady pace, you wouldn't be at a point where you would burn out, and you'll just get a feel like, okay, I can notice, even though I'm not having any issues right now, I can notice that maybe in like a month or so I'll burn out. So let me take a couple days where my foot is still on the gas, but I'm just not focused as much on expansion, but
Maybe I
of
described it wrong. Because when I say, and burnout was the loaded word. Um, because when I stop working out, it's not like I didn't injure myself. I'm not incapable of continuing to work out. It's an internal feeling where I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm done. Like I obviously need to rest. It's the same thing where like I'm working. Like sometimes, like for example, the end of 2018. I had multiple product launches, like 6 or 7 product launches that were launching in the beginning of January. So November and December, I packed a shit ton of work in, and those last like 2 weeks, like I was basically like, I remember the second I got back to New York, because I was traveling everywhere. Second I got back to New York, um, my day literally looked like I would wake up and I would literally just wake up, shower, get dressed, brush my teeth, grab my backpack, go to the coffee shop, and work there the entire day. That was like a full 2 weeks. At the end of December, I could have kept working, but like it was just like, yo, I need to like relax. I would just wake up, send a couple of emails, maybe like get like small things done, but it was like much smaller, and then I was just chilling out and relaxing. Um,
Mhm.
I feel like no one has ever felt what it feels like to actually work their ass off. Like in any form or fashion where they even get to the point where they're like, okay, it's time for me to relax.
Very true. Anybody saying anything on the?
I don't think anyone's in here.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
So we're just
uh,
having a bomb ass conversation right now, fam.
that's what this is for.
That's what's up. And yeah, basically, you sick right now, bro? I got some tissue for you here, bro.
Oh, thank you so much.
um, but yeah, that made a lot of sense. I feel like people just gotta finally reach that tipping point where they feel like they're about to burn out, and then adjust accordingly, so they don't have to reach that burnout ever again. And they would know, okay, a week in advance, I would kind of just slowly take my foot off, not take your foot off the gas, but just decrease the amount of pressure you're putting on in that moment, and then adjust accordingly. So what my way of doing it would be, get to that point where you feel like you're about to burn out, and then be like, okay, after working my ass off for a month, I feel like I'm about to burn out. And then the next time, work for 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, and then just be like, okay, I'm gonna slow down a little bit, and I'll still be doing what I'm doing, but I'm gonna focus a little bit more on reflection instead of outer expansion. And that way you won't have to deal with that burnout again, and you'll be more in balance with yourself. So that one time, for the one time, work your ass off, and then know when you get to burnout. Okay, I'm at fucking burnout. I gotta rest. I gotta hop on Netflix. You feel me? And then just next time, a week in advance, just slow down before that time
It
happens.
okay. I have a different viewpoint on this. This is from personal experience and watching other people as well. Um, my burnout used to be like a day, and then I would need like 2 days break. It's like working like mental workouts are this literally the like completely mirror physical working out. Now, like if I really, really, really needed to, I can make it the entire year without taking like a really long solid break. Like if I really needed to. And the only reason for that is because I would constantly push myself to a breaking point and then relax. And then I'd be able to push myself a little beyond that breaking point that I hit last time and then relax. And then it just kept going the same way. It's like, okay, I'm lifting
Muscle
50
guys.
pounds. Huh?
like a muscle, basically.
Exactly. It literally is like our brains are literally muscles. So like you'd be lifting 50 weights, and then like 2 weeks later, boom, like I'm hitting 60s. Like another month later, boom, I'm hitting 70s. Like
70.
it's like it's the same thing mentally. Like you can push yourself to that breaking point, and you're like, all right, cool, relax, and then you'll get to that breaking point that you had last time. Like if you were actually keeping track, and you're like, I don't feel anything like how I felt last time. Not only that, but like as you're working, you find like different ways to keep yourself productive, different ways to manage your energy levels. Like I found out if I take like if I go home after like working for like 4 hours, and then if I go home, relax a little bit, uh, meditate, take a nap, like 1 hour, 2 hours later, like I'm good to get back to work,
Or
and start working uh, for like the rest of the day until I just feel like chilling, or until I completely finish everything else I wanted to get done that day.
And I think what you just said is a great way to go into what was trying to branch into. What we basically just went over was how to avoid burnout and to be balanced on on a macro level, but this is kind of like on a micro level throughout the actual day. So what Miguel
Mhm.
was talking about is how he would work his ass off for those 4 hours, 4 hours of straight work, and then give himself like an hour, meditate, vibe out a little bit, and then he'll be valid to just go back to it. So on the micro level, it could also kind of work in the same way, I think.
Hmm.
Okay.
You kind of just gotta like find what works for you though, because like some people they would feel not as effective, or not as um like their work wouldn't be as efficient if they gave themselves that big of a break.
Like
Uh,
an hour long break.
yeah, like they would maybe have to take like shorter break, like just short breaks in between the whole day, or maybe they would need like a slightly longer break because like they haven't been working nearly as hard in the past. Um, like various things. I just found out that works for me.
Okay.
Um, and I think you only like figure that out is if like once again, even on a micro level, like just work your
Get to
ass
that
off,
point.
and get to that point. The only reason I know that works is because I've tried to push myself beyond that point, and then I was getting headaches, and I was like, okay, I'm doing a little too much. All right, I'm gonna stop at this time, and then I'm gonna relax, get some food, and like actually like force myself to chill out. And now I don't get headaches. Like I just work the whole day. It's like, oh, okay, I just need a little break in the middle of the
Boom. You said
day.
it. My way of doing it personally is I would get before I go into it, I would just like you guys to know that I eat like one nice meal per day. Like one nice meal. I just have all my nutrients. I have all my everything at a certain time of the day, and I just give myself like 2 hours to eat that. So basically, what I would do is I would get about 75 to 80% of my work done before I eat, like throughout the day, and I eat around like 4 or 5, and then after 4 or 5, I get to chill, vibe out 2 hours at 7, and then I just get like another hour or two of work done before it's kind of time for me to kind of unwind a bit, and then that's how I do it. I just push my food back because when you put food in your system, your body's not, all your energy isn't really going to mental faculties. All your energy is going to digesting that food. So sometimes it's better to get your shit done. Uh, Maybe eat a little bit of fruit. I know that's what Miguel does. You just eat a little bit of fruit in the morning, but that's not a lot in comparison to a lot of people eating big ass meals first thing as a motherfucking get up. I don't understand that. I used to be like that, but now I can't even comprehend it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would say the same thing. I actually do the same thing for the same reason. Like, I make sure that my first meal is like super light, smoothie or eat some fruit, um, and I always get my like most important tasks done in the beginning of the day when I'm like in that state. Like, cause I'm fresh. Like, this is the first thing I'm working on, so my brain is completely fresh, and I don't have a bunch of food in my system weighing me down.
You
And
said
I
it. You
always
said
feel like
how it
the
is.
easy stuff at the end of the day.
Exactly. Exactly, man. Just so like you get the easy stuff done, just chilling with your big ass belly at the end of that meal. Just, I'm
Mhm,
just got my boots on the side, I'm just,
mhm. Like
uh,
always, I like to put like tasks at the end of the day where it's like like not only are they easy, but a lot of times it's stuff that I can like listen to a podcast or watch videos at the same time that I'm doing it.
Or
Like it's like super like low mental bandwidth tasks, like stuff that just needs to get done just because like shit needs to get done.
perfect. You said it. You said how it is, man. Same.
Someone said, "How many hours of chilling per day do you guys allocate?" I focus. I don't focus on the time at all, other than my little hour or two break that I take in the middle of the day. I don't think in terms of time. I think in terms of things that I need to get done. Because like time becomes irrelevant. It's just what needs to get done. I'm going to do that thing regardless of how long it takes.
And like I think there's two sides to that. Another side of that is not viewing yourself as a slave. Like, oh, I only have this amount of time to chill. Nah, as long as you get the shit that you need to get done, you're cool. As
Mhm.
long as you've had your what me and Miguel do, we write our goals down the night before, and then in the morning we just relook at those goals. As long as you get those goals done, you could basically vibe out. So it's not about, oh, I'm only allowing myself to have 30 minutes of chill time throughout the day. No, as long as you get your goals done and as long as you're moving forward with your plan, uh, with your purpose in life, boom, you could just
Mhm.
going,
Because
cool.
sometimes you'll finish like I always give myself 5 things to do a day. Uh, every now and then I finish early, like way earlier than my cutoff time. I stop myself from working at 6. This normally I stop myself at 6. Um, this podcast is the exception.
I don't
Um,
consider this work, my friend. I consider this a genuine talk.
it is a genuine talk. It's also still work. Honestly, I consider my social media stuff a hobby. Like I've been thinking about this stuff.
And I
Um,
think this can branch into something important, Miguel, that you put me onto, man. Uh,
what?
that work, you can view work as play.
It is play, bro. Everything is play. Like literally everything is a everything is a game. Um, but I actually do view this like as a hobby. Uh,
That's beautiful, man.
um, but yeah, like every now and then, like you finish all your stuff like way early, and you're like, okay, I guess I have like time to relax today.
Yeah,
And sometimes other days you're like, okay, I didn't finish my main task, and like so I guess I got to keep working a little longer.
that was me today, to be honest. I got a lot of stuff done in the morning, and then I was like, oh, I could chill. Bet.
Okay, I
Yeah,
guess so.
yeah,
This it's like a reward for like getting everything done. It's like
yeah.
it's like all right, nice, let's do this. Let's chill out. Someone said,
Who said it?
I got a question. What gives you your fulfillment and purpose in business? Fulfillment wise, uh, for the main thing is mainly it's just I
Making
like setting goals and watching myself like accomplish them. Like I like looking back or like looking at like an accomplishment, um, seeing like my place or like even like sometimes like I'll literally look at my bank account and just be like and just think about like where I used to be. Like, yo, like I don't have to eat McDonald's anymore.
But really don't. I feel like at that point it becomes like a video game where you're
Mhm.
just like, I'm just collecting XP. I'm just leveling up
Bro,
my weapons.
me and Austin literally had this exact conversation.
Really?
We were like, yeah, we were like, yo, we're just like we're at a point where it's like literally we're just looking at like money, like oh, like trying to get the XP, like 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 every single time we like release a new program or like hit some new goal, it's like achievement unlocked.
Yeah,
Um,
but really though, it be like that, bro. Like
uh,
fuck,
but yeah,
mindset is
like fulfillment wise, honestly, like that's the main thing. I just like setting goals and accomplishing them. I'm a very like hell yeah, like who did that? Like I like looking back and like I did that shit. Like hell yeah.
that's
Um
what's up, man.
the other thing business wise is um I like the fact that the businesses that I'm affiliated with all have a positive impact on people's lives. I'm not gonna lie and say the part where I'm like, hell yeah, I did something. Like that part is 100% above that. But right behind it is the fact that they're positive businesses.
Boom. You said it how it is, man. Authenticity. You said it how it is.
According to reality transfer, that's how it's supposed to be. So,
boom. You transfer from there. Tufty the Prince, Miguel the Prince.
Priestess would be proud.
Miguel the priest. Yeah.
Miguel the priest.
Is she red or is it just my blue blockers?
She's red.
She red. Okay.
She's fire too. No, I'm joking.
Smash.
What about you? What gives you fulfillment and purpose in your business?
Just seeing the people that I work with happy for what I'm doing with them. That plays a big deal. And just what Miguel said previously, what you said, just like, okay, I did that. I can move on now. Like, yeah, I leveled up that weapon. I can move on now. Like, that's what's up. I got up to let's fucking Call of Duty. What's when you fully master everything in Call of Duty and you get like this one. It's like
I know what you're talking about. When you man, I haven't played Call of Duty in so long. I don't even remember.
I literally forgot. It's like after like
it's like, yeah, let's go Prestige and do it again.
Yeah.
Another fucking goal. Let's go do some shit.
Boom.
Like I feel like manly as fuck every single time. Like I'm like working and like accomplishing and like going after goals. Like I'm just like,
because masculine energy, it needs that mountaintop in order to feel fulfilled. Like I've known stories of like a lot of guys who like after they achieve like their goal or whatever, after they could have money in their bank account, but then there's nothing to do. They become depressed because masculine energy, it kind of needs something to kind of as you were doing before. It needs something to.
Imagine how that sounds on the podcast.
Yeah, oh my goodness,
bro! I was Gary Vee says all the time he feels like he's holding himself back from getting the money in order to get the jets because he knows that when he gets it, like it's like that wasn't the point. The point was like going after it.
Yeah,
like the whole fun of like doing this is like the process of like doing it. Like that's
I have another analogy for you, bro.
Every single time, like you get the thing. It's like you're always like want to talk. Oh my god, do you remember like when we were doing this stuff and like no one thought we were gonna do it, but we did it anyways, and now we're here. Like that's always what you're gonna be talking about, not getting the thing.
I got two things to say, man.
What's that?
One thing is that when I reached Prestige Master on Call of Duty, that's when I started not fucking with Call of Duty. But when I was actually working towards it, like having to restart, having to level up on my guns, I was like, hell yeah, blah, 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 blah. I'm out here, yo, we out here. But then when I reached Prestige Master, I'm just like, Halo now. I'm playing Halo now. Like it would just be a wrap.
Same exact thing happened to me on Gears of War. I was it has the top thing on Gears of War is called Onyx.
Okay.
And I was playing that game every single day because I just wanted to be in like the big dogs, play with all the best people on Gears of War. The second I got it, like you can go to Onyx, like Onyx level 5, but the second I got Onyx, I was just like, I did it. Like, that's all I really wanted. I just got Onyx. Like I don't need to play with all these dudes.
Boom.
I just stopped playing as much.
So I think this just leads into something else I was going to talk about. There's a quote by Buddha called, "It is better to travel well than to arrive." And if you just think about that, you realize that the goal isn't the destination. The goal is the process of having a goal. You could be happy throughout the whole process, just enjoying the whole journey, because once you get that goal, you'd be like, oh, what did I enjoy more, the process or actually achieving that goal? Like once you get that girl, what did I enjoy more? Actually going through the process of getting that girl, all the shit I had to go through was just like a roller coaster. Or when I get the girl, I'm just like, oh. Okay. Or just like,
like people love a good story. Like just think of your entire life like a story. Like damn, like what chapter am I on? Like, oh my god, what am I gonna like? How am I gonna tell this story to my grandkids?
Yeah. And like,
Um,
what are the movies that are always the most poppin'? It's the ones where shit fluctuates. There's actually a storyline. It's not just 0 to 100, nigga, real quick. It's 0 to 20 to 15 to 80 to 0 to, you feel me? It's like it's a wave. It's a process. So enjoy the process. Trust the process. Someone
he
saying something?
said, "That's why I asked what your purpose and fulfillment is. There is more to business than money, and once you hit your money goals, people tend to lose track and ruin their business. The only people that happens to are like people who are literally in it for the money. There's been so many studies, it's common knowledge at this point, that once you hit 90 grand a year, uh, more money no longer makes you happy. Um, so that's why you see so many billionaires who are just depressed and shit, because they lost sight of everything else except for money.
That's
Um,
crazy.
yeah. Uh, Honestly, I just like accomplishing shit. I like honestly, what's cool is like living life on your terms. Like to just be able to say yes and no to whatever it is that you want, to be able to go anywhere. Like the world literally becomes yours at that point. And the only way you do that is by having is either by being famous, uh, being a hot girl, or, or having a crazy large amount of money inside of your bank account. And the only way you can get that is by providing a crazy large amount of value to other people's lives.
And if you're a male, you can only have two of those options. Or
Exactly.
if you come from a family that made their wealth in like the 1700s or some shit, you have like a fucking lifeline of bread
But those people end up depressed
a lot of the time.
because, and what people assume is that they become depressed is because they don't have to like they don't have a mountain to climb.
But we got that mountain. We
We
were
got
blessed with that mountain.
that
You
mountain.
everything. And I seen that thing you posted yesterday. I might actually fuck around and repost that shit of how anything negative that happens to you, you view it as a positive. That's the positive. But anything positive, you view like, fuck. How do I explain this? You know the post I'm talking about? You put on your story.
I do know a post. Let's see if it's still there.
It was
Yeah.
like,
It
okay,
says wanting positive experience is a negative experience. Accepting negative experience is a positive experience. The idea that the more you pursue feeling better all the time, the less satisfied you become, as pursuing something only reinforces the fact that you lack it in the first place. The more you desperately want to be rich, the more poor and unworthy you feel, regardless of how much money you actually make. The more desperately you want to be sexy and desired, the uglier you come to see yourself, regardless of your actual physical appearance. The more you desperately want to be happy and loved, the lonelier and more afraid you become, regardless of those who surround you. The more you want to be spiritually enlightened, the more self centered and shallow you become by trying to get there. It's like what's interesting, someone sent me a message like we had like a nice little discussion about it, and he was talking about how he doesn't completely agree with it, uh because he feels as though um desire isn't a bad thing, and I 100% agree with him, but I just think it's uh like
general
whatever
speak.
talk whatever talk this came out of didn't have everything else with it. Like I don't believe that Alan Watts was saying not to go after like what you want. Alan Watts,
Of course not. Alan Watts has a speech on discipline.
literally, bro. Alan Watts had the desire to become more knowledgeable in all of these subjects, and he literally went around the world and lived with monks, and then brought it all back to America and became famous. I don't
That
think
took
he's saying to
discipline. That
not
took
be
work.
desire
Yeah.
to
And
be desirelessness. What?
and a and a you're good, Miguel. To be desireless, desireless. You're good, bro. I get it. But in transurfing, they say that desire is basically eliminated. The energy force, or basically Basically, whatever. Okay, let's say, boom, you're a desire, and that desire is accompanied with action. It would basically be back at zero. So desire, you have basically like a +1, and action, it's like a -1, and you'd still be at zero. You'd have no energetic issues if your desire is matched with action.
Mhm.
So you see that girl, you're like, fuck, I want her, I want her, I want her. If you don't do anything, you'll just be left in like a weird state. But if you decide to take action, even if you get rejected, after that rejection, you'll feel there. You won't really have like any energetic disturbance because your desire was matched with action, and they kind of just canceled each other out.
Mm-hmm.
What's that you got in your hand right there?
It's the pendant.
What is it? What kind of pendant?
It's a regular pendant.
Okay.
Uh, I was about to say some. Oh, it's only when you like you can desire stuff. Just like don't focus on like if you want to live in a mansion, don't forget to be grateful of wherever you live as well.
Boom. Just
Like
that constant awareness, I
yeah.
think, is just, even if you don't have action, just awareness. Awareness. Okay. Like, I know that I am not desire, but I'm feeling this trigger right now, and I'm fully aware of what's happening right now. As long as you're not a zombie and you're not allowing your emotions to control you, and you're aware, okay, I'm not my emotions, I think you're already in a safe spot.
Never be a zombie
That's facts.
because you'll get fucked up and shot by Rick from Walking Dead. Um, so I think there's actually like in terms of like seasons of life, I think the reason why people call them seasons is because it parallels like farming very well. Um,
Nature.
yeah, like so there's like the time when farmers are planting their crops, going out and working, making like networking, making deals, getting stuff started,
Networking with them chickens. With them.
networking with them chickens, you know, networking with them chickens, planting them seeds. Um, and then there's a time where you have to wait for those crops to grow. And then there's a time where you harvest. So like so you planted all these seeds, you let them grow, and then boom, you go into harvest mode, which is basically you're getting all the rewards from all the work that you've been doing, all the work and hard work and patience and watering these plants all the time, tending to these plants, tending to these seeds, and then boom, harvest time, you're collecting all the rewards, you're getting paid, you're making more deals, all sorts of good things happen. But there's also winter, and that is the time where you can't plant shit because you're tired.
Miguel, you always say it how it is, man. Just, just kept it a stack. You're dead ass tired.
I feel like Alan Watts, and like his spirit is inside of me. That is why I'm so good with these words.
You could be a reincarnated Alan
No,
Watts.
I'm joking.
I'm
There's no
not.
way
I'm
I
fucking not.
I
I ain't
don't
joking.
like Alan Watts. I
Okay,
am.
okay. Okay.
um. But yeah, I think that's why they call them like the seasons, like the seasons of life, and you got to respect that winter because if you mess around and like in actual real life, if you try to plant seeds in winter, those seeds aren't going to grow. And if you try and get a bunch of work done when you're obviously mentally tired, um, and like your clients are a little tired, or maybe it's just like you're setting yourself up for failure trying to work through the winter.
Facts. Like, might as well make that time for reflection and to better plan out how you will get back on the road when it is indeed springtime.
Mm-hmm.
Plan.
Start collecting resources. Maybe relax a little bit, get ready.
Talk with them
Because
farmer ladies.
because what season comes after winter? Fall?
Spring.
Because spring is definitely that's perfect. Because spring is definitely coming up. So you might want to start collecting them resources, getting them seeds ready, getting all your chickens in order, all the ducks in order. Because spring is coming, and once spring comes, it's time to get hard at work. And the last thing you want to do is still be burnt out when spring comes back.
Bum bum bum. Got any grapes?
Got any grapes?
We just said hella facts just now, bro. Like,
man, I was channeling my inner Alan Watts.
yeah, man. Like, we just snapped on this podcast, man.
You have any final thoughts? Because no one's asking questions anymore. We got a couple, which is dope, though. I appreciate everyone who is listening to this right
Give
now.
him a shout out, man. I'll give him a shout out.
JDM BRZ.
You the man.
Abu Khalifa.
Khalifa. That loud pack. You.
That loud pack. We appreciate you guys, and we appreciate anyone who's watching us sometime in the air quotes future.
Because there is no future. The only time is now. It's an illusion. Time is a man-made concept.
Bro, you gotta chill. The eyes.
What?
Time is a man. That is what you're doing, bro.
I gotta get that message, man. You know, gotta wake them up.
Almost choked on my spit. On that note, I think that was a good moment to end it. Thank you everyone who took the time to listen to this episode. Feel free to message me or Zeke on Instagram. His stuff is linked in every single episode. Message us, let us know whether or not if you guys have any suggestions for what you guys want the podcast to be on, and we'll definitely do that. So thanks. Peace out.
Brain blast.
Brain blast.
Don't the booch.